Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you for clicking. Now this is the tutorial on how to make this shirt, and this is the measurement for the tutorial. So I'll be using 2 yards of Ankara fabric, a half yard of cashmere, my tape rule, a piece of chalk, my pair of scissors and other sewing tools. Let's get straight to this tutorial. Okay, now I'll be dividing the chest measurement by 4. The chest measurement, which is 38 by 4. And that will be 9.5 plus seam allowance, which is 1.5, making it 10.5. So I'll be measuring 10.5 on fold. That is for the back part of the shirt. I'm using 10.5. Now note, the back part of the shirt is 2 inches longer than the front part of the shirt. Yes. Alright, so the length of the shirt is 28 inches plus the 2 inches and additional 2 inches for seam allowance. So that will be 32. I'm sorry, the camera couldn't capture the end of the cloth, so pardon me for that. So after marking, I'm going to cut off the back of the shirt. Okay, then I put it aside and come to that cross back. That cross back, which will be added to the back of the shirt. The length of it is 9 inches. That's what I normally use for the back of the shirt. I can say it's standard, and maintain the width, which is 10.5 inches. So I'll mark that out, then I cut it off.
Jet planes in the night sky with you, getting high in the sunrise with you.
Okay, so we are now at the front part of the shirt. Now for the front part of the shirt, I'll be measuring 10.5 for the width, just as the back part of the shirt. 10.5 for the width. Then I will add 2 inches hemming allowance to the full length of the shirt, which is 28 inches. That will make 30 inches. Then I cut it off.
Jet planes in the night sky with you, getting high in the sunrise with you, getting through all the bad times with you. I wasn't missing a thing, no.
So I just place them on each other and put it aside. So now I'm about to cut the sleeves. For the sleeve, the width I'll be using is 8.5 inches. The width for the sleeve is 8.5 inches, and the length is 24 inches. But then I'll be using the gold material for the band, which is 3 inches long. So 3 inches minus 24 will be 21 inches. But I will add additional 1 inch for the up and down seam allowance or joining allowance. Okay, so after marking, I'm going to cut it off.
Jet planes in the night sky with you. Getting high in the sunrise with you. Getting through all the bad times with you. I wasn't missing a thing, no I do. And I wish that I could put a time machine.
So I'm going to place the first lip on the fabric to cut another piece.
I'd come and get you. I can't forget you. I miss you. I miss you. I miss you all the time. I wish that you were mine. I miss you. I miss you. I miss you all the time. I wish that you were mine. Jet planes in the night sky with you. Getting high in the sunrise with you. Getting through all the bad times with you. I wasn't missing a thing, no I do.
So now I place the front part of the shirt on the back part of the shirt. Then I'm going to mark for the depth of the neck. The neck depth will be 2.5 inches. That is for the front part of the shirt. The neck depth will be 2.5 inches, and the width will also be 2.5 inches. Okay, so after that, I'm going to give it a curve like this. Then I'm going to mark 2 centimeters for the shoulder slant, 2 centimeters for the shoulder slant, and join it to the neckline. Now for the back part of the shirt, I'm going to mark it on the front part. The depth will be 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches, and the width will be 2.5 inches. Then I give it a curve. I'll first cut off the neckline for the back part of the shirt. And cut off the shoulder slant. I will then put away the back part of the shirt and trim off the neckline for the front. Okay.
Jet planes in the night sky with you. Getting high in the sunrise with you. Getting through all the bad times with you. I wasn't missing a thing, no I do. And I wish.
Okay, now I've brought out the back part of the shirt. I'm going to use it to cut the yoke of the shirt. So I'll just place it on the yoke which I cut initially, which was 9 inches by length.
Jet planes in the night sky with you.
So I marked 2 centimeters at the side and slanted it towards the center to create a triangular shape. I'll then open up the yoke and give it a press on the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, so after this I'm going to add my stiff to the wrong side of the fabric. So I'm cutting about 2 centimeters for the width. Okay, so I'm going to press the stiff down to the wrong side of my fabric. So now I'm going to fold in from the side of the yoke towards the center to create the triangular shape, or to bring out the triangular shape of the yoke.
Jet planes in the night sky with you. Getting high in the sunrise with you. Getting high in the sunrise with you.
Okay, so after pressing on the right side of the fabric, I will place it on the right side of the back part of the shirt and sew it down.
And I wish that I could do this machine. 'Cause time moves on, and now you're gone. Oh, if only I could do this machine, I'd come and get you. I can't forget you.
Okay, so I just went to stitch down the yoke to the back of the shirt. So I'm just removing the pins. So this is how it looks after stitching it down on the back part of the shirt. Then I'm going to place the front part of the shirt on the back part of the shirt with their right side facing each other. I will then join the shoulders by 1/2 inch. That's what I'm marking on it. 1/2 inch. Okay, so I just joined the shoulders and I'm going to turn it over. Okay, so that's the back part of the shirt. I'm going to turn it over to the front part of the shirt. Now you pull the front part of the shirt to match that of the back part of the shirt. You realize that the shoulder parts or the shoulder slants of the back part will pull down. That's the reason for the 2 inches that were included in the back parts. The length of the back part. Okay, so after this, I'm just going to give it a little press Then we are going to mark out the armhole for this shirt. But I'll first measure the chest line, which is 21.5 inches, and the crossback for this shirt is 17 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance, which make it 18. So deducting 18 from 21.5 inches, we have 3.5 inches left. So dividing 3.5 inches, I'll have 1 3/4. So I'll mark that out for both sides of the chest line. Now the depth for the armhole, I'll be using 8 inches. 8 inches. Then I'll give it a curve like this. Okay, I'll do the same for the other side of the shirt. I'll mark out the depth to be 8 inches while the width remains 1 3/4. I'll also give it a curve. Okay, now after marking it out, I'm going to cut off what I marked out to get our armhole. Now before then, let's measure. I need to get about 9.5 inches. 9.5 inches. Yes. So I'm going to cut off the armhole marked out.
Jet planes in the night sky with you. Getting high in the sunrise with you. Getting through all the bad times with you.
Okay, so now I'm going to mark out the slit, the front slit for the front flap. So I'm going to fold on the wrong side. Then I'm going to iron it to create a line in the center of the front part of the shirt. After that, I'm going to mark 9 inches down. That is what I'm going to use for the front slit open. So I'm just cutting it up to where I marked the 9 inches. If you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, click on the notification bell so that anytime I upload a new video you'll be notified. And don't forget to comment in the comment section. And share to your friends and family. Okay, so after cutting it open, I'm going to put it aside and then work on the flap, the left and right flap. Okay, so now I'm going to fold in 2 inches for the right flap. I'll be using 2 inches for the width, and for the left flap I'll be using 1.5 inches for the flap. Now for the left flap, I'm folding in 1/2 inch, which will be used as the seam allowance. So the 1 inch will be the actual width for the left flap, and 1.5 will be the actual width for the right flap. Okay, so just as I fold in 1/2 inch for the left side of the flap, I also folded in 1/2 inch for the right side of the flap, which was initially 2 inches. So the actual width for the flap will be 1.5, which after that I gave it a stay on the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, so now I'm going to attach the left flap to the slit open. So I will sew it from the wrong side of the fabric, then I will turn it over to the right side of the fabric. So this is it. So I'm now going to attach the right flap to the slit open as well. I will first and foremost attach it on the wrong side. Okay, so that is done. Pardon me for the background noise. I'm at home and this place is quite noisy. So I will give it a notch at the end where I marked the 9 inches. Then I will place it on the left flap and make sure they are in line. So now I'm folding in the other half. I'm folding in the other half and give it a press before I also stitch it down on the shirt. So guys, as you're watching, please don't forget to subscribe, like this, comment in the comment section and share this video. And also remember to click on the notification bell so that anytime I upload a new video, you'll be the first to be notified. Okay, now I'm going to stitch the end of the flap. So I'll mark half of an inch up to where the stiff ends. Half of an inch up to where the stiff ends. That is 1.5 centimeters because that is what we are using on the flap. So I'm going to stitch it down and turn it over.
Jet planes in the night sky with you. Getting high in this.
Alright, having stitched it down, I'm going to just straighten the edges by pulling them out using my scissors. So that is done. I'm going to fold in the half of an inch seam allowance and give it a press.
Jet planes in the night sky with you. Getting high in the sunrise with you. Getting through all the bad times with you. I wasn't missing a thing, no I do. And I wish that I could build a time machine.
Now at this juncture, I'm going to stitch from top to down, go up and curve it. From here up to the end, cross it here, go up here and cross it. So let's get straight to this. Alright, so I just stitch it down. So this is it. I'm just going to iron it and continue from there. So I'm just giving it a press. Okay, so this is actually going to be the part 1 of this video. I will leave a link to the part 2 of this video in the description box. I just give the armhole some notches. Okay, see you in the part 2 of this video. Bye.